What's up, party people? It's KeysDAN, RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live and in living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous? It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do you go? Where do I always send you? DJLittleRock.com. One more time, DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote. And maybe you could have me at your next event. You know I like to party with the people. The people need to be entertained. Let me entertain you. Are you not entertained? Make your next thing a big one. Today on the program, speaking of entertainment, speaking of events, I have Heissam Jebailey on the program. Who's Heissam Jebailey? Who? Well, you're going to find out in the next few minutes, so stick around. This week's shows, I have one public show as we break out of coronavirus quarantine. It's at the RAB in Conway, Arkansas on Friday night. My usual Friday night dance party gig, video dance party, karaoke jam. Now, I use the word dance lightly, loosely. We cannot dance on the dance floor, but you could dance in your seats. You could dance in your mind. They got a full bar. The kitchen's open. Pool tables. In fact, they have a pool tournament on Friday nights. 10 diamond-style pool tables. I don't know exactly what that means, but it's pretty impressive to me. People seem to like them. They're good tables. And I know Faulkner County is a dry county, and we got a full bar, and the alcoholics to prove it. So come on out. Have a good time. You've been working hard all week. What better way to spend your time than with your friends at the RAB in Conway, Arkansas? Come on out. I'll be doing the karaoke show from 7:30 to 10:30 because we all have to be out the door by 11 because everybody knows that coronavirus only comes out after 11 o'clock. Is that political? Is it scientific? I don't know. I just know that, we got to be out the door by 11 o'clock. It's going to be a good time. It's been getting progressively bigger and bigger and bigger, and we're taking care of each other. We wear the masks on the way in and when we're walking around, and we take the mask down when we're having our drinky drinks and having our good food over at the RAB. So, yeah. Come on out. It's a good time. I think that's enough intro. Let's get into it with Heissam Jebailey. Now, I got him on the Skype, so if you're listening to the audio version of this, I encourage you to check out the video version of the podcast. It's youtube.com/user/KeysDAN, or just look up KeysDAN. I know there's 3 different YouTube pages out there that I have, but the one with the Radio What logo, that's the one that I've been saving primarily for the podcasts. So, yeah, let's get into it with Heissam Jebailey. Skyping Heissam Jebailey now. Heissam.
Yes.
I said it right?
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. Heissam Jebailey?
Yes.
Wow. Both names I said correctly?
Yeah, which is amazing, man. That's really difficult to do, and you got it like the first time.
It's probably not difficult in your family to say it properly.
Definitely not. Going to be on video too?
Yeah.
Or
we got the audio and the video going at the same time. I'll put the audio out on all the platforms, and then the video will be on YouTube. So, Heissam Jebailey. We're chatting. My name's Dan, KeysDAN. You're on the What Makes You Famous podcast. Big shout out to Katrina for setting this all up, and away we go. So give the people a little idea of who you are.
Sure. My name is Heissam Jebailey. I'm is my brand and slogan for everything I do. I host events. I do real estate, and I'm big into fitness as well. I'min's been a brand that I created and started in 2012 of February due to a best friend being indecisive of, what he wanted to do and when. So I basically just told him, look, man, from now on, if I ask you to do something, just say I'm in or not. And then the light bulb went off in my head. And I changed all my social media, my middle name, and everything I say begins with the words I'm in.
That's a good brand to have too. I'm in. There's been a social experiment that's been going on for lots and lots of people, and I know that they've made it into a movie. Jim Carrey was in a movie called Yes Man, where he said yes to everything that came his way, and you'd be surprised at how many adventures you'll end up going on, even if you do it for one day. Just don't say no to anything. Say yes. Say I'm in. Whatever you do, exactly. whatever comes my way, I'm in. Have you lived your life that way at all?
What's that?
Have you lived your life that way?
I mean, for 99% of it, sure. Unless it's not something good, then I won't say I'm in. But for the most part, everything I do is really great and amazing. Not just for people in general, but for the community as well. So, I'm a very decisive person. Like, I won't commit to something unless I give it 100%. And when anyone else does something like an event, or even you with your amazing podcast, What Makes You Famous, when Katrina told me about it, I mean, the name alone, and then I did my research on you as well. How could I not say I'm in? And here I am.
Well, it's a good way to live your life. When people ask you to do things, and I'm going to say it here first. And it's probably been said before. Heissam Jebailey will help you move. All you got to do is ask him. He's in. No, it's a hard way to live, but it's an adventurous way to live. Have you been in this mindset? You said your whole life, but really, when you were a little kid and somebody asked you to do something, hey, will you join the wrestling team? Hey, will you go to this dance? Hey, will you, eat this dirt or check out these ants? Or whatever got put your way. Do you feel like you've really lived your life that way?
No, actually, it's interesting you say that. When I mentioned that, I'm In was started in 2012. I didn't really start living like my personal life, and my journey didn't truly begin until after the age of 22 years old. I really didn't live my life to the fullest growing up, like I feel like I should have, looking back. And it cost me in the year 2000, after I graduated from the university. I got a job working for a newspaper, and within 6 months of stressing and worrying myself to sleep and not eating right and not drinking enough water and really not taking care of myself, I ended up in the hospital on my deathbed with a near fatal case of pneumonia. I had full-blown pneumonia. I was in ICU for a month. I undergo multiple surgeries, and I also had a major lung thoracic surgery that saved my life. And ever since that, Dan, that defining moment in my life, that's when I started to live my life to the fullest. That's when I started saying I'm in. And that's when I made the conscious decision to do events and to celebrate life and to bring people together, show them the time of their life, because I was living proof at the time and still now that you only live once and you got to make the best of it every day.
Well, I've heard that YOLO, you've only lived once. And then, was it Dwight from The Office said false? You live every day. You only die once. But you can live life to the fullest every day. And I know that your page is I'm into events is the page that people need to find on their Facebook. What kind of events do you put on? Do you put on events for other people, or are you inviting people to hear you speak about the I'm in philosophy? What is it all about?
Great question, man. And there's a lot of people out there that work with corporations and do events for them. But what's unique about me is I actually put together and host the events myself. So I envision the events, I put them together. I have an amazing team, which I call the committee of people that help promote the events and attend the events and help run them as well. They also help raise money for charity. The main charity we support is Base Camp Children's Cancer Foundation, based out of Winter Park, Florida. And so mostly major networking events, but what we're really well known for is an event that we do every year called Black and White Weekend. Pre-pandemic, for 10 years, we put together an event for nearly 1,000 people dressed in black and white to support a good cause and to have the time of their life. It takes place at the Rosen Plaza Hotel every year. In 2020, our 11th year got pushed back twice. but I'm happy to announce that we're finally given the go-ahead to have it happen on Saturday, May 15, 2021 of this year. So basically the events we do are just big networking gatherings, bringing good people together of all wages and work backgrounds to come make new friends, support each other's businesses, support each other's causes, and keep life going. I know I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't have a great support team and guys like you, Dan, that help promote and get the good word about what we're doing.
Well, you're giving people gems, Heissam Jebailey. Is you're letting people know that it's not just one person. We all have to help each other. And, you're funny. You mentioned Winter Park. I remember I lived there for about a year back in 1994. Yes, back in the 1900s, I lived in Winter Park, and that's just outside of Orlando, Florida. And I remember when I was living in Miami. I was born and raised in Miami. I would go to Orlando to Disney World at least once, sometimes twice a year. But when I lived in Winter Park, I went never. It's so funny. But I see you're wearing a shirt that says Team Basecamp, and it's basecamp.org. That's the I'm in charity. Is it an exclusive charity that you're involved in, or is it a charity that other people have helped you put together?
So it's not my charity. We're a third-party event that supports this charity. They've been around for over 35 years, again, based out of Winter Park, Florida. Three ladies by the name of Terry, Cindy, and Rachel run it. And basically what our events do is we raise funds and generate awareness, not just locally, but around the world for these kids that are battling cancer across 4 different hospitals in Winter Park and Orlando, Florida. And basically the money that we raise throughout the year and at the events that we do basically goes towards paying for the children's movies, dinners, parents' night out, as well as their gifts, and even college tuition for year 10. A girl by the name of Emma McDonald is a 5-time, Dan, believe it or not, 5-time cancer survivor. And Black and White Weekend has helped pay for her college tuition books over the next 4 years. We've also helped build a black and white kitchen inside of the office of Basecamp so the parents can come pick up really good, healthy meals for the kids that are battling cancer in the hospital. Another girl completed chemotherapy. She wanted an iPad too, so we used the funds to buy an iPad too. There's many organizations out there that raise tons of money, a fortune for research to help battle cancer. But what we do specifically is find the hidden gems and raise the money to support certain programming that is going to bring smiles to the kids' faces directly while they're battling the cancer in the hospitals and as well as out of it.
Man, Heissam Jebailey, that's got to make your heart feel good. I know when I've been involved over the years, Relay for Life, being a hugger for the Special Olympics, all these things, they help you. You feel like you're helping somebody else, but really, you get the endorphins, you get the love, you get the feeling that's so good, and it's got to make your heart feel good, man. For that matter, giving back to the community, and I know that's not the thing that's going to keep the roof over your head, but if you have the means, help some people. If you have the ability, if you have a regular job like the I'm in events where you're putting on events and people are giving you a couple bucks, hey, take some of those couple bucks and give back to the community if you can. It's got to make you feel good to be a part of that, to hand that iPad to that young lady who has gone through so much. It's got to feel good. I mean, what other is that the main charity that you're involved in, Heissam Jebailey?
Yes, sir. It is the main charity, and we've supported many throughout the years, but we really love being consistent to this one because they're a small local charity. We get to see exactly where the money goes. We're actually handing the money over to them and then using the money to directly bring smiles to the kids' faces. We're in the hospitals every week, and the people running the Basecamp Children's Cancer Foundation are in the hospitals every week bringing literally food to these kids and movies to these kids. And on Fridays and Saturday nights of every weekend, the parents need a break. So we will babysit the kids in the office while the parents go out and have like a date night out in the town. And you're right. I think every single person, whether they gave $1 or $100 or clothing or gifts that they no longer use that are in great condition, I mean, every little bit counts, right? Especially now, in this new world that we're living in and trying to, survive through, it's like, it is an amazing feeling. And I don't feel like I would be where I am today if I wasn't doing this the last 11 years, right? Because you said it right. I mean, a lot of people give back, because they want to, just because that's in their heart and in their mindset, and they're able to do so. But, for me, I've been able to do it, and I just feel like I'm still alive to this day, and God keeps providing for me and everyone that I come in contact with that supports me in this charity. Just because, it goes both ways without even thinking about it anymore. Because again, I've been doing it for over a decade now. So yes, it does feel good. And when someone like you reminds us that it's got to feel good, you're right. When you really sit down and think about it. But my mind is so set on continuing to do it. I don't take the time really to think how awesome it really is, because it truly is something else.
Heissam Jebailey, that is fantastic, man. And I'm glad they have you. A lot of people are apprehensive to give to charities, to give to causes, because they don't know where that money is going to go. But you're working hand to hand. You're actually behind the scenes working with the people that are on the top. You said there's 3 ladies that are running this charity, this benefit. But all right, so let's go beyond that, beyond the charitable efforts of the I'm In campaign, the I'm Into Events campaign. You have other corporations that are hiring you out because they don't want to have to deal with that kind of thing. Is it like an event coordinator? Is that part of the deal? Because I know I just got hired today to DJ an event, and they said, you take care of everything. I don't want to deal with that. You set up the lights, you set up the sound equipment, the televisions for the karaoke part. You handle all that and make sure that the event flows properly. Is that what the I'm In Events does? Is that they plan everything start to finish?
They very well can. Again, what we do is we put together our own events. However, one thing we definitely do is we support everybody else and their events as well. So if someone has an event that they have in mind, they can come to us for advice, and we can consult them on it from beginning to end. We can provide everything that they need to make it happen, and to make it happen safely and successfully, especially now. Also, if they already have the event up and running, but they need to get the word out about it, then we're more than happy to do that across all our social media channels, and we can directly reach out to people that we feel would be a good fit for the event, right? So, really, it's a mix of everything. We consider ourselves like on top of the event world. So anything having to do with events, we really can do it.
Hey, that's just people helping people. I remember I was living in South Florida, in Miami, the Florida Keys. That's where KeysDAN came from. People would come from all over the world to do events there in the Florida Keys in Miami. And I remember being a part of it, even being a small part of it, even, taking my 2 turntables and a microphone over to these events. And then when I lived in Orlando in Winter Park, where you're at, that's another place that's 20 pounds of poop in a 10-pound bag. There's just so much to do. I remember working events on Church Street and the like, and I think I did do one in downtown Disney. I think that was the closest that I got to being in Disney when I was living there for that 1 year. But there's so much to do in Orlando. What other events are you involved in with the I'm In Events?
So another example is actually next Tuesday. I just did a walkthrough of a location called Soho Restaurant and Lounge. They're on the corner of International Drive and Sand Lake Road. So basically, myself and the committee and the charity, we rented out the venue, and we're expecting between 50 and 100 people, again, all ages and all work backgrounds, for a networking event. February is Valentine's month, so we encourage everyone to wear red. We'll have a DJ for music. We'll have a photographer taking photos. There's going to be food, there's going to be drinks, and there's going to be a platform where people can come and finally get out of the house if they haven't already been starting to get out again. And it's in a very safe environment. Mostly the events I'm doing now are outdoors, right? And with all the precautions in place, of course. And so far, so good. This will be our 5th one since the pandemic had started on March 16. I'll never forget that day. And really our goal is to just keep things going as best we can until we finally can go back to how things were beforehand.
And the rest of the country thinks that Florida is mad crazy. Every time something weird happens in the news, they go, they're from Florida, aren't they? I remember living there and being a part of that and saying, well, that's fair. That's fair because there's so many different types of people, so many walks of life, so many different ideas that go through Florida and different sections of Florida. South of West Palm Beach is really South Florida is a whole place. And then Central Florida, where you're at, is a whole nother area. And then North Florida is kind of like South Alabama or South Georgia. There, the country folk are up there. So Florida being such a long state, it takes 9 hours to drive through it if you're driving the speed limit, kind of, but there's so much to do and so much to see in Florida. How far do you go with your events? I remember when I was living in Miami, I would go as far as North Florida to do events. If the price is right or if we can come to some kind of a good negotiation. How far do you go with your events?
Absolutely. So in the beginning, I really would go all over the state of Florida, but we are really a local, small, event, company. And we like dealing with local. Honestly, man, like you said, your state very well, Dan. There's so much going on in Florida, but Central Florida alone has more than enough to deal with. So we basically stick within Central Florida. I've gone as far as Lake Buena Vista and Sanford, Florida, Winter Park, of course. Those areas. We stick with those areas because I grew up in this area. Everyone I know is in this area. But what's really cool about the main event I was telling you about, Black and White Weekend, is people have flown in from out of the country. They have flown in from out of the state, and they have drove in from as far as Miami and Tallahassee and Tampa to come to this one main charity event, every single year. So we pride ourselves on that. And like you said, Florida is just filled with so many different people, so many different walks of life. And another thing that makes I'm an Event so famous is we welcome all those people. Every single one of them that's a good person is welcome to come to these events.
Yeah, it's nice to be in a tourist town. I'm half Cuban, I'm half Irish, and half Italian. Hey, that's three halves. I'm a big dude. Okay, but being in South Florida, I had to say hello and goodbye in probably 20 different languages. The different people in Orlando, it's the same thing. People from all over the world come there. And you get to reap the benefits of having those cultures and those styles. I mean, Heissam Jebailey, that sounds like a name that has its own connotations. Where's the family from, and the heritage of your being?
So you've got three backgrounds, and so do I. I'm Lebanese. My mom and dad are both from Lebanon in the Middle East. I was born in Canada. So I'm a Canadian citizen, and in 2017, I actually also became an American citizen. So when people ask where you're from, I tell them I'm Lebanese, Canadian, and now I'm American as well.
And this big giant melting pot, it's a wonderful thing, man. People that don't like immigrants, this whole country is built on immigrants. But, that might be a whole nother story. I might have just opened a can of worms. There might be some comments dropping right now on the YouTube video right now. What do you mean this country is built on immigrants? Well, it is. It is, man. My grandparents are both from Cuba. And so I'm third generation. I guess the blood is running thin. But, what kind of knowledge did you gain from your parents? Obviously they moved to Canada from Lebanon to make a better life for themselves. Tell me about the parents. Yeah,
a better life. So my mom and dad moved from Lebanon to Canada because my father bought a business from his father, a meat factory actually. And then from the meat factory in Canada, he knew that he didn't want to deal with that cold weather, and that America was going to offer him more opportunities for him and his kids. I have an older brother, an older sister, and a younger brother. There's four of us. So he made the decision to come to Orlando, Florida, where the tourists are, and he bought a motel, and he sells attraction tickets to all the theme parks. So he came down for business and for weather. My family background is really big on hard work, and giving back. So he instilled that in all of us, and all of us are entrepreneurs giving back to the community pretty much every day of our life because of my dad. And my mom is a wonderful human being as well. I mean, she's just incredible. She raised us all, and my dad provided us for us all. And all they asked in return is to do the same for them when they get much older. and we're there for them as well. So, I mean, it starts with them, right? I definitely got to thank them for sure.
Absolutely, man. Heissam Jebailey, it tells me that your dad has a good work ethic and he's into hospitality. He's into helping people. There's people that get a hotel, yeah, you make a couple bucks, but you have to be good to the people so they keep coming back for more. So hospitality, people helping people, that's what you got from your dad, is the ability to deal with situations with, hey, I need more towels. My room doesn't look right. Well, your dad had to worry about that kind of thing. And then your mom, I guess you said she was a homemaker. Man, hardest job in the world, raising kids. Call me old fashioned. If I got to work 3 and 4 and 5 jobs so I can keep my wife at home and let her take care of the child. In fact, she homeschools the child. What benefit that kid is having. And then when I come home, I always got somebody there. They're always there. It's a wonderful thing that your mom and dad had that dynamic, that relationship, that mom was able to raise you. I'm guessing you got all the love you needed. I'm hoping that you did.
For sure. I still do. I just saw them both today, spoke to them both today before I got on the podcast with you. And they're doing great. So I'm definitely blessed, and I don't take it for granted. And through our events, we encourage people not to take it for granted either. That's why we're constantly doing them and constantly reminding everybody, to make the best of the life that you do have. And we're here for everybody, just like everyone's been here for us. So we're really lucky in a lot of ways.
The Heissam Jebailey. Is Dad still in the hotel business? Do you ever do any events over at his hotel?
So back in the day, no, I definitely helped him with it. But no, my dad's strictly in the commercial real estate business now, and he still does sell attraction tickets. So he sold the motel, like I would say 15, 20 years ago, but he kept the attraction business. So, and he's been doing that for 30 plus years now, and he won't quit, even though he could if he wanted to, but the guy just loves to work, and you can't stop him from doing that.
Yeah, I wonder if I'm ever going to stop talking into microphones. I've been doing this since 1986. I got on the radio for the first time, and I haven't stopped talking into microphones yet and talking to people and promoting people. When you're on the radio, yeah, you can make a couple bucks, but there's only a handful of people, maybe 2 handfuls, that make $1 million a year on the radio. If you don't love it, if you don't love talking to people about their events that are coming up. So-and-so is having a concert tonight. Come on the radio station, talk to me for about 15 minutes. We'll get you some airtime. Hopefully some people, as they're driving into work, will say, oh, I'd like to go to that show. That's a wonderful thing. And this is way before the internet. And now with the internet and with my online radio station and with the podcast, I have the ability to hopefully get the word out about Heissam Jebailey and his I'm in events. And I want, if 1, 2, 3 more people over the next week see this or hear this, that's all the much better. I get content, you get promotion, we all win. It's a wonderful thing. So what first got you into the I'm in? You said that you got this philosophy, what was it, 2017? The I'm in philosophy?
No, 2000 was when I was in the hospital with pneumonia.
Yes.
Yeah, and it took me 10 years to fully recover from that. So in 2010, I started the Black and White Party, but it was in 2012 that I started the I'm in Brandon slogan. So I would say now over a decade. And it's amazing, KeysDAN, that you've been doing this for as long as you have. Anyone that has done a certain job for over 10 years, if they make it to the 10-year mark, I truly believe that they're going to go an additional 10, right? But if someone's in a job 1, 2, 3 years and keeps switching, then they're always going to find something different to do, right? But I've been doing the events for 10 years. I thought at one point that I would stop doing them, but something just kept drawing me back, and now I'm on year 11, so chances are I'm going to go another 10 years.
That's fabulous, Heissam Jebailey. Now, you said you went to university when you went to Orlando. Did you go to University of Central Florida?
I sure did. Yeah, I went to community college, Valencia West for 2 years. And I transferred to UCF, and I got a degree in advertising and public relations. I was in the newspaper business for 10 years. And the company at the time was Press On Events, because I would do public speaking for a decade, inspiring audiences to press on. And then I switched it over to I'm in Events when I came up with the I'm in brand and slogan. And I've been using that, ever since. And I probably won't change that ever either. It's just become so common now that it's hard to let it go.
Yeah, it's hard to let a brand go anyway. KeysDAN from the Florida Keys. Where do I find myself? Central Arkansas. My brother, when I first moved here back in 2009, he says, "So you're going to change your name to Arkansas, Dan?" I said, "There's a million web pages out there. Literally a million web pages with KeysDAN on there. I am too lazy and too old to be changing now. So KeysDAN is the brand, but I'm in. What a wonderful brand." So the event page is I'm Into Events. Is that the official name of, or is that the name that you could get on Facebook?
That was the name I can get on Facebook and Instagram, but I'mInEvents.com will take you to the Facebook fan page that has all the events listed on it. And if people are interested in the annual charity event, Black and White Weekend, that's easy. That's blackandwhiteweekend.com. And all the information they could dream of about the events, or, specifically what we're doing for Base Camp, can be found on either of those websites.
So I'mInEvents.com has all you need to know. Yeah, you click it and it's got all the links that you need to find you, Heissam Jebailey. But that's a great brand, and you've been building it for over 10 years. And the training that you got in school, you actually went to school for this type of function. I didn't even know there was a class that was geared towards that. Did you get some kind of a degree?
Advertising and public relations, marketing, sales, it all comes together.
It does.
A lot of people that graduate with a degree don't do what they graduated with. My business partner of 20 years now, he studied biology, and now he owns a headhunting company. And we did the newspaper together. We own real estate together. But I don't know. My sister and I, we both are in advertising and sales and marketing. We both went to school for that, and it just so happens that we've been doing it ever since.
Yeah, these are jobs that depend on people. I remember when I was working on, I've worked at corporate radio stations like Clear Channel and Radio One, and some of the ones that have owned many, and then they had their own sales staff. But when I worked on a mom and pop station, just a one station, Exito 105.5 down in Miami, I would have to do my morning show, and then I would have to go and sell that show. And so I was doing the advertising for my own show, and that's how it worked. It works in a small business. You're expected to do more. So you working with your sister, or are you working this I'm in business? Is it primarily you?
So it is primarily me. Actually, my sister lives in Dubai. She's married, she's got her kids, and she's actually a fitness instructor over there, and she does her own marketing and advertising for her own fitness business. She's doing phenomenal. But no, like I said, it is mainly just me, but I do have the charity support. They help me, run the events and provide me the support I need to get the word out about them. I also have, you have an amazing intern from UCF, and then I'm very blessed. I have 23 committee members that are good friends of mine that basically help, advise the organization I'm in Events on how to go about doing the events, how to promote them, how to better raise money for the charity, and help running the events as well. So I have a really great support team. But at the end of the day, it always goes by whoever's at the very top of it that's overseeing everything, and that's definitely me. So between me and the support I have from my friendly team, we do everything together year round. It's an amazing dynamic that it's a unique dynamic, but it's been working for such a long time, and I'm always constantly trying to make it better and keep everyone motivated and keep everyone pushing. But you said it at the beginning, KeysDAN, this is all about people helping people, and I'm there for everybody, and everybody's there for me, and it's just wonderful. It really is.
Well, Heissam Jebailey, it sounds like you're a good leader, a good CEO, A good CEO knows to hire people that might be better than him in different areas. Maybe you're not quite as good in this area, and hey, maybe I'm not that good at cleaning linens. Well, you'll hire somebody out that cleans linens, and that kind of thing. And that's just an example. But man, that putting together an event of 100 or 200 people. I was looking at your I'm in events page on Facebook, and I did see the picture of your smiling face right there in front of Soho Cafe, and you're already promoting this event that hasn't even happened on Tuesday, and that's part of the deal. When you hire I'm in events, you're going to get the promotion online, and I'm all of your social media, I'm guessing. Now, who's putting together your website? Because those things are nerve-wracking to some people.
So believe it or not, I have a team of people that can put it together. Obviously, Katrina Texador, she's been very helpful. I have others as well, but for the most part, I mean, I do most of my promotions is now these days is word of mouth and a person to person. I'm getting a lot of business through Facebook and Instagram, and of course, you've got Twitter and LinkedIn and Snapchat and WhatsApp, and I utilize all those avenues to get the word out. Because like you said, with your show, a lot of people are going to hear about I'm in Events and Black and White Weekend that never have before. And then when I get the feed, once I get off here with you, I'm going to promote it to everybody that you don't know, and they're going to listen in. And it's just a constant circle that keeps going and going and going, and it never ends unless you want it to. And I don't want it to, so that's why I'm still here and I'm keeping it going.
Well, I started this way back before COVID, and it just another avenue in the beginning, I will promote my little shows that are coming up this week, and then primarily it's whoever I'm talking to, and I invite anyone to come on this because everyone has a story. Heissam Jebailey, you have a story from Lebanon to Canada to the Orlando, Florida area, and that's where you find yourself right now, putting together events. So when 10 years ago, when you got hopefully fully recovered, we still don't know, from that pneumonia that you had in 2000, shoot, I'm so glad you're here. But when you got out into the world and you said, hey, what am I going to do with my life? What can I do with my life? Well, let's take this I'm in, this yes attitude, and put it to good use for other people. But what was the first events that you were putting together for people 10, almost 11 years ago, from what I'm understanding?
Well, in the summer months, my parents would take the kids to Lebanon, and we would spend 3 months there. At the end of those 3 months, my father and I would go door to door, neighborhood to neighborhood, of all the people that we met over those 3 summer months, and we would invite them over for a going away party. So really, I feel like this all started for me when I was 16 years old. But in 2010, after I fully recovered, in my hospital bed, I envisioned the colors black and white. So 10 years later, in 2010, I put together that black and white party. And the vision was to bring together my family and friends that were with me the 10 years prior and just have a fun party for them. And then it ended up becoming a second year. And then in the third year was picking up steam. And that's when I brought on the charity base camp to support and give back to the community. And now we're celebrating our 11th annual anniversary of this event on May 15, 2021. Which we're finally going to be able to host it, and I'm so excited to do so. And there's a lot of people out there that just cannot wait to utilize their tickets in their hotel rooms to come support the charity and see each other again, because a lot of us at that point will not have seen each other like we normally have our whole lives. It'll be a full 2 years since we've seen majority of the people when this event finally happens.
You know what you're telling the people, Heissam Jebailey. If you want to do something, if you have an interest in something, you can make it into a living. Putting parties together, that some people do that for fun, but you can make that into a living, man. That's the side benefit is you get to see your friends. Sometimes you get to do events for people that you know. That's a beautiful thing too. It's an excuse for you to get together with your pals and do some stuff. Man, that's got to make your heart feel good as well. But
Yeah.
the other thing was your sister's in Dubai. I've never been out of these United States. I've never traveled outside of this country. But Dubai, in pictures, in movies, it seems like such a fascinating place. What a big city. It just looks massive. The structures. Have you been to Dubai many times?
I have. Well, I've been once, and I went there to spend time with my sister and her family for 2 weeks. And the way you described it is exactly the way it is. It's larger than life. The buildings and the people and the beaches and everything like that. It's an incredible country, and there's a lot to do there. And if you ever do decide to leave the country, I would say about a dozen of my friends have actually met my sister because they went to Dubai for vacation to check it out, and they heard such great things about it. And my sister's helped plan their trips as well. That's how awesome she is. So yeah, I mean, it is a great place. If I wasn't living in Florida and you asked me where would the other place be that I would like to live, it would definitely be Dubai.
Oh man, you put it on the walking tour, on the What Makes You Famous walking tour. Go to Dubai, people, and meet up with Heissam Jebailey's sister. All right, don't stalk his sister, okay? Don't do it. But people say, "Oh, you live in Florida. That's got to be close to the." How are the beaches? Well, Winter Park is an hour away from the beach, man. When I lived in Orlando, that was the one downside was it wasn't near the water. There's plenty of pools, I guess, that you can go in. I know that the apartment that I was renting had a nice pool, and I remember it was hot in the summertime and cold, at least Florida cold by Florida standards, cold in the wintertime. And I spent a lot of time in the summer in that pool. What do you feel about, I know we're talking about the weather. How do you feel about the weather in Winter Park, Florida? And when do the events kind of die out, if they do?
The events don't die out. I mean, they can go year round. We're doing about 7 events a year now. A while back when I first got started, I was doing about 17 a year. But the 7 we do now are big enough and good enough to maintain, year round. So I'm good with that. It's interesting. This year's weather was a little bit colder for longer than it has been in years past. I remember the last couple of years, it was only cold for like a day or two, but we've actually gone like a full month of consistent coldness. But Florida weather, KeysDAN, you wake up and it's sunny, and then an hour later it's storming, and then you might get some hail too on a rare occasion, and then it goes back to sunny again. It's so sporadic, and a lot of people put out memes about how crazy the weather is here. But right now the weather it's comfortable.
Oh, well, you gave me a little inkling of ideas. Me, I'll do 2, 3, 4, 5 events a week if I can. But for me, it's bring my equipment to a show. What does it entail? I know I've talked to photographers that work twice a month, and that's all they can do. I cannot do any more events, any more weddings than twice a month, because there's preparation before and then the after work. Now for you, what does it take to put together those 17 and now 7 events? You say 7's enough right now. What does it take?
I mean, it takes a lot of promoting, a lot of phone calls and emails and social media posts to get the word out and to get people to come consistently and to reach out to new people that have never been. So you're always keeping the circle going of your regular, followers and supporters, but then you always want to bring new people to learn about the events and to learn about the charity. Fortunately, I have great relationships with a lot of venues and a lot of restaurants that already have the staffing in place, and already have the food and already have the bar set up and already have the outdoor patios ready to go. You just need to bring the people. The hardest thing to do in the event business is bring the people. Now, when you have an event like Black and White Weekend, which in the past you're dealing with 1,000 people, 22 entertainers, 150 hotel rooms, 10 charity members. and you're literally trying to make a 5-hour event that takes year round to push and promote, and 2 to 3 days to actually set up for 5 hours. I mean, that is like a lot of work in itself. You need to take a big break after that. So I get these photographers and everyone else in the event business says, oh no, I can only do one a year. I understand why, I mean, black and white, I eventually could just do that and still keep busy every single day just to put on this one 5-hour event. People don't realize the amount of work, KeysDAN, that you put in to your business and my business and everyone else's business. And the people just show up and enjoy what they see, but they have no clue what goes on behind the scenes. And I can tell you, it's one of the hardest things that's out there to put on is an actual, big scaled event, right? People only see what they come to see, but they'll never really know what goes on behind the scenes unless you're in that business and you can truly appreciate it,
Well, Heissam Jebailey, one of the things that I've always said ever since I really went full force and quit all my day jobs and went into DJing full time, is you'll never work harder than having your own business. You have to figure out how to set hours, but you're always thinking about your job. If you have an event, a big event like the Black and White event or like the Soho Cafe event that's coming up on Tuesday, you're thinking about it 24 hours until that event happens and it goes well. You're going to be nervous before every event. I know I'm nervous before every wedding, every karaoke show, every birthday party. I'm so nervous because I want it to go perfectly. And so does the client. So it's good to have that mentality to be as worried as the client, in your business. It's man, there's so much to take care of, and it sounds like you have, after 10 years of experience, you have a list of vendors that you can go to and get these things put together.
Yeah, once you prove yourself to the community and to the people that you work with, and they know that you're sincere and they know you're a hard worker and that they know that you're not going to just blow steam in their face and not back up your words. Once they know that, I mean, you could basically tell anybody in Central Florida, oh, that's the guy that runs Black and White Weekend. Oh, that's the guy that raises money for base camp. Oh, yeah, I want to work with that guy. What do you need? I mean, that's how fortunate I am. Today, I went into Soho Restaurant and Lounge, and I said, I need this. We got to set it up this way. And Nehru's the owner, absolutely wonderful friend of mine, and a business owner herself. She gets it. And she's like, Heissam, whatever you need. And that is going to make this event very successful. This will be my 52nd Orlando networking event that I put on with the team. And Black and White Weekend will be in its 11th year. And there's a lot to be said when you've gone that far and that long running a certain type of event. Unfortunately, a lot of people either had no choice but to quit their events or fold their events through everything that's happening. But luckily we were one of the ones that were able to survive this whole thing, and we want people to know out there that if you're struggling with your business, like, we're here to support you and help you in any way. If we do well, if you do well, we do well, and vice versa. Right. And that's another philosophy that I live by.
Man, the service industry got hit hard. There was two full months that I had 0.0 events. And I went, am I going to make this? Am I going to make it? I was going through some savings. I'm not going to lie. And I was worried. But then finally, some scientists came up and said, if you just put a mask on, you'll be okay. I think we can start opening stuff up. But let me tell you, there was 2 months where I was spinning around and wondering, I see there's a light at the end of this tunnel. Things are going to go back to some kind of normal, and we're going to forget about it, just like they did with the 1918. I didn't know about the 1918 until that virus back then, until just last year. Who knew?
Yeah, I didn't think about it either till this whole thing happened, And but I'm amazed a lot of people, and I'm sure a lot of people too, they really managed to pivot. I mean, all my friends that are entertainers, all my friends that have businesses that suffered, they came up with other ways to make money. If you apply yourself and you're willing to work hard and not just, sit in bed watching TV every day, and you get out there and you talk to people and you see what other people are doing, you can come up with ways to survive. I mean, obviously a lot of people have, and I got to give them all the credit in the world for doing it, yourself and myself included.
Oh, creators are going to create. How many podcasts got built up over this last year? I think anybody with a microphone or even just a phone, with a recording device on there has started up a podcast. Whether they're any good or not it's subjective. It's all subjective. Maybe it's got good subject matter, but it doesn't sound as good as it could. And I know that this podcast that you're on right now has been getting progressively better and better, sound wise, quality wise, making sure that I'm getting the right questions out to make sure that the guests are getting the promotion that they need. And a lot of times it's purely selfish. A lot of the questions that I'll ask, like about Dubai and even your time in Canada, I mean, I could tell that you hightailed it out of Canada because it's too dang cold, and you got to Florida, baby. That's where you should be. But Florida's getting crazy too, so I had to get out of there. But that's a whole nother story. Say again?
Simpler place.
What's that?
Seems like you're in a simpler place.
Yeah, when you're old, you kind of slow down a little bit. But I say that, and I think, well, maybe I'm getting too old to DJ events. Am I going to be able to relate to those kids at the prom? Yeah, I do okay. Sweet 16 party? No problem. Haven't done a bar mitzvah in a while because where are my Jews at, man? There's no Jews here in Central Arkansas. Sad. Well, at least none that I know. But I know when I was in West Palm Beach, I was doing bar mitzvahs all the time. That was kind of a fun event for a young person and a bunch of young people just having a good time, and you just get that good energy from kids, man. But sweet 16s are about the same, and quinceañeras are about the same, but a good bar mitzvah, man, those things, they pump a lot of money into those. And
yeah, they're pretty incredible.
Yeah, but you say you've done events that were hundreds, thousands of people. The black and white event is thousands of people.
No, it's nearly 1,000 people. That's the most I've ever done. I leave the people to do the thousands of events. That's a whole nother ball game on top of Black and White Weekend. I just prefer to attend those than actually host those type of events. It took me 10 years to build up to 1,000 people, and honestly, I'm happy with 1,000. Right? We'll see how the numbers do this year as far as attendance go. We're just grateful to be able to do an event again. Where it was, like you said, it was taken away from us within like a week, and for months, we were twiddling our thumbs, hoping and praying that things would turn around a lot quicker than they have. It's taken a lot longer to turn around than we all had hoped, I would imagine, right? But you're right, it is starting to turn around, I think.
Yeah.
So
it's all coming back around. It is, and I'm kind of excited about that. The vaccine thing. There's people. Oh, I'm never going to take that. Well, why? Why aren't you? So you got to trust somebody sometime. I believe that people are generally good. If not, the whole planet would be chaos. People are generally good people, and they all want the same things. Food on the plate, a roof over their heads, and their kids to be well taken care of and nourished and what have you. So, are you a family man, or are you still a young man of leisure?
I'm still a young man of leisure. I'm single, no kids, but I can tell you I'm happy and I'm healthy, and at the end of the day, that's what's important to me.
Well, you seem like a good dude. Yeah, you seem like a real good dude, Heissam. And I'm glad to know you, and I'm very happy that Katrina Tehator put this together for us. What is she? She's a fascinating girl. I had her on the podcast, and we chit-chatted about the various things that she does. And I know when I met up with her, it was at a Comic-Con, and it was costumes. And then I found out about her whole social media, the whole promotion business that she had, and we talked for a good hour or more. And what kind of things is she doing for you?
Well, basically, we partner up and promote each other, but she's definitely getting the word out about Black and White Weekend and the events. And in return, I mean, anyone that's looking for social media help, in any form, or getting the word out about their companies on a huge scale across social media. That's the girl to go through. I mean, she's got a wonderful company that does really, really well in boosting people's social media presence, along with a lot of other things. And that's what she does for me. And in return, I get the word out about her as well.
We'll talk about people helping people, and that's a good thing. Now, eventbrite.com is where you have your the black and white weekend.com. Oh, okay, the black and white weekend.com event is hosted at eventbrite.com. And it says May 15th, 2021, from 8:30 p.m. until the wee hours of the morning on Sunday. You're going to be at the Rosen Plaza just partying it up and for charity's sake. Helping people that are living with cancer, that have come through the fight with cancer. I know I have family members. That's a disease that's near and dear to my heart, man. And I just say no to cancer. I don't like it. I'm four square against it. What do you think?
100%, man. It's pure evil, and it's unfortunate that people have to go through that, but it is a reality, and the reality is, with Black and White Weekend, that's just one step in the right direction to help people get through it.
Yeah, and you're are you inviting? I guess you invite people that have been through this to kind of help to get the word out about the various types of cancer. I know, throughout the year, wear pink for breast cancer, wear blue for the testicular cancer. There's different awareness times, but unless you're starting to throw money at this so the scientists can really work at it, it's all for nothing. You need more than awareness. And if you're able to build up, a big stack of cash and maybe turn it into one of those giant checks that you could hand over to the Cancer Society or whatever charity that's going to be helping to wipe away this dreaded disease, I'm all for it. Heissam Jebailey, I'm in. Here. I'm in, man.
I'm in too.
So, I know we joked a little bit, but do you really have that philosophy that you'll do whatever anybody asks? I mean, unless it's illegal.
I mean, definitely if it's illegal, that's an I'm out situation, 100%. But for the most part, like you said, everybody is, you truly believe everyone is a good person, and if they're not, I just choose not to work with those people. But everyone I know is an amazing person. And if you come to one of these events, Dan, you'll see for yourself. I mean, everybody is, circling through this life the same way. We're all trying to survive. We're all trying to provide for ourselves and for our family, and we're all trying to support our friends. And when you walk into Black and White Weekend or any event, whether you come by yourself or with a group of friends, everybody is friends with everybody. Everyone's on the same playing field, Doesn't matter what religion background you are. It doesn't matter what political background you have. It doesn't matter what country you're from. Everybody is on the same playing field. So these events are good for business, it's good for the community, and it's good for each other. And that's what I pride I'm in events on. It's just good, period.
Yeah, once you get to a certain age, you start to weed out all the people that are going to be malintended, for lack of a better choice of phrase, turn of phrase. But when you get young, when you're young, there's those people that are going to try to take advantage of you. But once you get to a certain age, you start to weed those people out. You put them at a hand's distance. I've been putting those folks at 6 feet away or more for the much longer time than COVID's been around. So what's on the horizon for I'm in events? Is it going to be still whittling it down to 7 events a year, or are you going to do more?
Yes. Well, we've got the networking event in February, and then another one in April, and then Black and White Weekend in May. We have a beach event that we do every year in July. And then we'll do another 2 networking events in October and December. And honestly, that's enough to keep the word out there for the charity. That's enough to keep people engaged year round. And again, I mean, it took 10 years to get to where we are now. So I'm very happy to just maintain this and constantly bring new people to the cause and bring all the people that have supported us the last 10 years back to keep on supporting as well, right? When you're dealing with hundreds of people on a daily, weekly, annual basis, I mean, that's enough to keep you busy. And I still do fitness and I still have my real estate as well, you know, but right now, the main focus is being able to pull off these events that we weren't really able to do last year. But now that we can, I want to make sure that they take place and they take place as safely and continued successfully as possible.
Yeah, once people get used to going to this event every year, you start to put on a yearly event, they start to look forward to it, hopefully. Yeah. You know, I have an event that comes up every Friday. It's the video dance party at the Rab in Conway, and people get used to it. And now that there's some kind of in place where you can kind of socially distance and stay safe-ish, I guess. Nobody's completely safe unless they lock themselves in their house. But, hey, we got to go out and play. And I'm glad that you have events that you've been putting on, and people get used to going to those events every year. They're used to going to the black and white events. Now, you mentioned that you're still doing personal training. As we land this plane, let's go through some of the other things that we can promote for you, the personal training and the real estate business. How do people get a hold of you if they want to buy a house and maybe put a gym in that house and get pumped up?
Sure. So I own the rights to I'mInRealEstate.com, so they can go there. And then I'mInFitness.com. They can go there as well. Like I told you, man, I'm in is everything. So they just go to Google and I'm in. They can find anything. But, you know, they can find me on Facebook as well under Heissam Jebailey. I mean, I'm not hard to find. They could just put in Heissam anywhere and my name and picture will probably pop up. I'm a one-stop shop for all these things. So if they look up Heissam and they reach out to me, whether it's by phone or email or Facebook social media message, especially if they mention your show, I'll make sure to take extra good care of them.
Well, that's good, man. Heissam Jebailey, I'm glad to know you as we wind this thing down. If there's any shout outs you want to give to certain people, people that you want to thank that have helped you along the way, because we're not on this planet alone. We're falling through space, so we got to hang on to each other and help each other out along the way. But any shout outs you want to give to people?
Yeah, I want to thank you for having me on your amazing show. I want to thank Katrina for introducing us, and we finally got to this point. I'm so glad that we were able to do this together. I just want to thank literally everyone that's in my life, from my parents to my siblings, to every sponsor that stuck with me through the pandemic last year leading up to Black and White, every ticket holder, everyone that booked a hotel room, and every single person, and there's thousands of them, that have donated money to Basecamp Children's Cancer Foundation. Myself and the foundation truly do appreciate you. And if you really enjoyed the events the last 10 years, wait until you see this year what we have in store for you. So thank you all so much.
Well, I don't want this to be the last time that we chit-chat. Heissam Jebailey, as things progress and time goes on, maybe in another half a year or a year, if you have something else to promote, please, by all means, let's schedule some time and get back on the What Makes You Famous podcast. But I usually finish these things off with last words for the people, and this could be just words that you live by. Maybe somebody told you a long time ago, or maybe just a mantra that you live by, or it could be just words that pop into your head at this moment in time. Heissam Jebailey, last words for the people.
Absolutely. So my father taught me this growing up, and I'll teach people going forward. If you work hard and you're a good person, good things will come back to you for the rest of your life. I'm in. Are you?
Well, there you have it, party people. Heissam Jebailey. I think that was the first time that I stumbled on that name the whole time. Heissam Jebailey. Why am I having so much trouble with it? I know, because it's getting later. He's a cool dude. He's a cool guy, and he's turned something that he's found an aptitude for, creating events, putting on a show for people. I mean, not to mention, he's also in the real estate business and the personal training business. Those are pretty cool things too, as well. I mean, imagine, making people feel better about themselves with the personal training and getting people houses with the real estate. Come on. Those are all things that are going to make your soul feel good, your heart feel good. When you hand the keys to somebody when they get a house, it's got to be an amazing feeling. on both sides. The people that are getting the keys and the people that are handing the keys. You're getting people houses and personal training. Hello. You know, it's good to make people feel good and teach them how to get their body in shape and live longer, happier, healthier lives. These are all great facets of you, Heissam Jebailey. Why am I having trouble with your name now? Heissam Jebailey. You know, I had it right at first. Now I'm stumbling with my words because it is getting later. I know that sounds like an excuse, and it is an excuse, but it's a valid excuse. The I'm in entertainment business, baby. I'm in. You want me to do that thing? I'm in. That's a great attitude. Great attitude and a great way to brand your business name. I'm in. Oh, you have an event for me to put together? I'm in. I'm in. It's good. It's the yes man mentality, or the yes, say yes to things, and you're going to have adventures in your life. So unless it's illegal, don't do anything illegal. I'm out. All right, party people. That's it for this edition of What Makes You Famous. Thank you so much, Heissam Jebailey, for coming on the show and being a part of the What Makes You Famous podcast. Now, I'm turning my attention to you. If you would like to tell your story, I encourage you to give me a call, 501-470-6386, or email info@radiowhat.com. That's it for me. It's KeysDAN, radiowhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.